Schools across the United States are facing a crisis when it comes to feeding students.
During the pandemic, every public school student could get free meals in their cafeteria.
That's ended, and now parents in some districts are struggling to afford the expense. It's estimated nationwide that unpaid student meal debt is more than $19 million. And that's a conservative estimate from the School Nutrition Association. Reporter Kristin Crowley shows us the growing problem, the rising costs, and the push for free lunches to return.
This is very important.
High school freshman DeJuan Strickland doesn't worry about where his next meal will come from, but he remembers a time when he did.
I was very hungry and it was hard to go through school that day because I had nothing to eat.
In 4th grade, when it was time for lunch, his plate of food was taken away.
My lunch balance hit 0, so I didn't have enough money to eat lunch that day. And that kind of really stuck with me because I had to sit at a table and watch other kids eat their lunch, and I couldn't eat lunch myself.
So you just sat at a table with no food in front of you?
Yeah.
As he got older, he couldn't shake the memory of going through the school day hungry. So he started a GoFundMe page to pay off student lunch debts at his former St. Louis area elementary school.
The goal was $4,000, and we raised almost $10,000 to offset lunch balances at schools. It was actually enough to split it with 2 other schools.
His generosity and philanthropy saved students from feeling the same hunger and embarrassment he once felt.
It can start making an impact.
But DeJuan knows there are so many others not getting that help.
Among schools that have to charge for meals right now, 96% are reporting challenges with unpaid meal debt, and about 2/3 report significant challenges.
Diane Pratt-Heavner is spokesperson for the School Nutrition Association. The nonprofit survey of more than 1,000 school nutrition directors across the country found school meal debt is more than $19 million. And growing.
What is your group seeing nationwide when it comes to this issue?
Unfortunately, we've seen a dramatic increase in unpaid meal debt as a result of the end of federal pandemic waivers that allowed all schools to offer free meals to all students.
Those waivers made in-school meals free for all public students, a benefit that ended in the 2022-2023 school year. Pratt-Heavner says inflation, coupled with stagnant or lost wages, has made the expense impossible for even middle-class families.
What was student lunch debt like before the pandemic?
Basically, we would see maybe $19,000 for an entire year.
For the whole district?
For the whole district.
Lori Dinella, the nutrition director for Lee's Summit Schools in Missouri, says the debt for its 25 buildings this year?
We're right at $10,000, and we've been in school for 10 days, so we're accumulating about $1,000 worth of debt a day.
So in theory, it could be $172,000 in debt by the time the year's over.
Yes.
A lunch for its elementary schools is $2.90. For its middle and high schools, $3.10. But Dinella says even though that's relatively affordable, many families struggle to pay it.
They have their mortgage, their rent, gas has increased, groceries has increased, so basically school meals have been put on the back burner so they could pay their other bills first.
Lee's Summit says it will never deny a child a meal, and it won't hold the debt against them if they can't repay it. But that comes at a cost to the district, which has to cover whatever is left. Pratt-Heavner says many districts are carrying that burden.
Trying to find donations in their community to help cover the cost, and then even cutting into school district funds intended for education.
That's why the School Nutrition Association is pushing Congress to bring back free meals for all public school students for good. But the issue is divisive. Democrats in Congress have tried to bring back universal school meals permanently, but as of late 2023, the bill has no Republican co-sponsors. The Republicans' budget proposal wants to eliminate free meals for all students, saying school lunch and breakfast programs are subject to widespread fraud. If it doesn't happen on a federal level, each state could make the move. So far, 8 of them have. California, Maine, Minnesota, New Mexico, Colorado, Vermont, Michigan, and Massachusetts. It's a change lawmaker Brian Seitz of Missouri wants to see happen, and he is an unlikely advocate for the measure.
I think they found it unusual because I am a fiscal conservative, but this has something to do with children.
Representative Seitz is a Republican in a heavily Republican state. He drafted a proposal for universal free meals in Missouri that never made it to committee, but he vows to try again.
If kids can receive a better education, the test scores would improve, that's great for the whole state, and I think it's something that we can do. Now we just have to convince fellow lawmakers that there is a need.
DeJuan doesn't need any convincing.
I'm hoping with a nonprofit organization we can do this more and more often.
He's continuing efforts to raise money for students, even if lawmakers won't, because he says in the end, children are the ones paying the price.
They can't help it. They don't have like a job that they're paying, like they can pay it off and stuff. They have to rely like on their parents. So as a kid, you're just kind of like really stuck there, and that's not a feeling that any kid should be experiencing at all.
Right now, families with certain income levels can qualify for free or reduced meals at school. But Danella says in her district, many who are struggling to make ends meet don't qualify because the guidelines say they make too much money. She encourages people to call their local legislators and voice their concerns for feeding children.
But the need doesn't stop at the end of the school year. From Virginia to Hawaii and many places in between, we found school districts teaming up with national and local nonprofits to feed children during the summer.
Sometimes in the summer, parents are working all year round, and we have children who are older and home alone and could use some meals, so they're welcome to come out. Sometimes there's families who could benefit from having the free meals available to them.
To find a summer meal program near you, head to the U.S. Food and Nutrition Services website at fns.usda.gov/meals4kids.